Good afternoon and welcome to the Sawyer Center. SNU basketball is live and on the air on a chilly February Saturday, but the action here at the Sawyer Center should be pretty hot today as the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm welcomes in Southwestern Oklahoma State for the second go-round between the Storm and the Bulldogs. Welcome everyone. My name is Luke McConnell alongside Russ Frisbee here today. Thank you for joining us. The Crimson Storm coming off a huge win over the Oklahoma Baptist University Bison on Thursday night here at the Sawyer Center. The women pulled out the win, 82-78 over the Bison, and the men with a 102-62 romp over OBU. We'll get to the men's game a little bit later this afternoon. They tip off at 3 o'clock, and we'll have pregame for you immediately following the women's game. But first, for the women, SNU comes into today's game 12-5 in conference play. They are currently second in the conference standings, and have improved drastically over the course of the season. But their biggest test so far this season will be today as they welcome Southwestern Oklahoma State, winners of 22 in a row. They are 22-1, 17-0 in conference play. The 22-game win streak is a conference record, and they are a formidable opponent, currently sitting at number 13 in the country in this week's top 25 poll. So as improved as the Crimson Storm have been over the past couple weeks, we're going to find out today, Russ, just how improved they are as the Bulldogs, again, pose quite the challenge for SNU today.
Absolutely, Luke. We talk about the turnaround that this SNU team has gone through, and looking at the schedule, coming on this turnaround right after the loss to Southwestern, but a very interesting matchup between the 1 and 2, maybe not quite as even as a spread as you usually see in a 1 versus 2. But a big opportunity for SNU to really show what's kind of been developing here for them in the months of January and February, just really playing like a whole new team. That defensive intensity ramping up. And a good opportunity here for them to see a little taste. We talked about Thursday night clinching a spot in Bartlesville. Now a chance to see what some of the results down or up there might look like. But definitely a big challenge ahead of them, a 22-game winning streak like we talked about for Southwestern. And Luke, you commented before the broadcast, they just look really loose out there warming up. And maybe with 22 wins in a row under my belt, I'd come in pretty confident too. So definitely an uphill battle for SNU. But absolutely a proving ground and an opportunity.
SNU on Thursday night saw their third biggest offensive output of the season, just the third time they broke the 80-point mark. They also did that back on December 14th against Oklahoma Christian and on January 5th against Henderson State. Both of those were also home games, so the Sawyer Center has been the friendly confines for SNU this season. They are 8-2 here at the Sawyer Center with losses by 1 to Northwestern Oklahoma State last Thursday night, and a loss back on December 18th to nationally ranked UCO right before Christmas break. And Russ, it has been the offense that has kind of been the story this week at least, as they knocked down 9 threes in the first half against OBU, 10 for the game, and only committed 5 turnovers in that win over the Bison. And certainly their most efficient offensive performance that we've seen in quite some time, as they also went 22 of 28 from the free throw line. And what's it going to take today? Let me ask you first, what was the key for SNU's offensive production there? What did you see that they were doing well?
I think they just came out and looked to score in a lot of different ways. I think typically one of the big problems for this SNU offense is they've got 1-2 options maybe that they really like to stick to, trying to penetrate towards the basket and trying to get that entry pass to Nehus, and often not willing to shoot the three, often struggling from mid-range, often not getting to the free throw line. And we just saw that versatility Thursday night. They were willing to shoot the three. They shot it very well in that second quarter. Lots of fun to watch. They were willing to drive at the bucket. They were willing to shoot mid-range, and they got to the free throw line better than we've seen at all over this homestand. So those were very exciting milestones and a really good all-around offensive game for the Lady Storm Thursday night.
Of course, they've been led in offense the past couple weeks by freshman J.C. Soap, who poured in a career-high 21 on Thursday night. That's 5 straight double-figure games for J.C., and we've talked with Coach Trent May, and he's mentioned multiple times that it's not an issue of other players falling off or not producing. It's just that JC's taken advantage of her time on the court and taken advantage of the opportunities that she has been given and has really started to shine through on both ends of the court for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, as you get deeper into the season, ladies have the opportunity to kind of define their roles a little bit more, get a little bit more into the realm of specializing, which for a team like SNU right now trying to make a run at this conference championship is a very good thing. You get some of JC Soap coming off the bench as kind of their spark plug, their scoring spark plug, and you get some of these other ladies, Massey Beard developing as an incredible backup post, Kennedy Gillette, and even we saw a little bit of Julia Schwacke coming in as defensive catalysts off the bench. Getting to see some of those roles defined, a little bit of speciality off the bench is really what makes championship teams. And so exciting to see for SNU, these ladies stepping up into those specialized roles.
SNU defensively has been very good. They're tops in the conference in field goal percentage defense and scoring defense prior to Thursday night's game. But one area that you have to be concerned with is just how much SNU fouls at times, particularly in the post, and we saw that a little bit with Massey Beard, the freshman, just going through a little bit of an issue adjusting to the college game. But today it poses a significant challenge as Southwestern averages 24 free throw attempts per game. They've taken 556 so far this season, so it will be a challenge for SNU to keep the Bulldogs off the free throw line and force them to make shots in the half-court offense.
Yeah, got to keep it clean early. A lot of times Trent May really likes to press the tempo and come out with a full-court press, trying to force some errors. But a lot of times, Luke, we see cheap little fouls 90 feet away from the bucket. And that's something SNU needs to cut down on. Allow them to have some fouls to give early, but not fouls that they're giving up in non-crucial situations.
The teams are making their way to the bench as we get set for the national anthem and starting lineups here at the Sawyer Center. Great crowd on hand. A lot of fans traveling from Weatherford for the game, and with a roster that is made up of entirely Oklahoma players and one player from Lithuania, you'd expect that for the Bulldogs. And so we'll step aside, and when we come back, we will have the starting lineups and the opening tip for the Crimson Storm and the Bulldogs. You're listening to SNU Basketball. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center. Starters being introduced on the court right now. Let's go through those first for the visiting Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs. Number 12, senior guard Haley Tucker, 6'2", from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Number 14, 5'9", senior guard Hayden Pretty from Piedmont, Oklahoma. Number 15, 5'10", junior guard Taylor Hedrick from Chester, Oklahoma. Number 21, 5'8", junior guard Tyra Aska from Meridian, Oklahoma, and Coyle High School. And forward, number 23, 5'11", sophomore Bethany Franks from Norman, Oklahoma, Norman High School product. So again, all Oklahoma on this roster for SWOSU, minus number 32, Davila Strimatite. And we'll try not to butcher that one too much today, Russ. For your Crimson Storm, same lineup as usual. Number 4, junior guard Irene Perez, 6 foot from Spain. She's averaging 6.4 points per game and 4.2 rebounds per game. Number 5, sophomore guard Alexis Jones, 5'8", from Burleson, Texas, by way of Grace Prep Academy. 9.6 points per game, that's second on the team now. 4.4 rebounds per game and 3.6 assists per game. It's good for fifth in the conference. The 24 points on Thursday night were a career high for Alexis. Number 10, senior guard Adrian Berry, 5'11", from Oklahoma City. 18 points on Thursday night against OBU. She's averaging 11.8 points per game, 3.7 boards per game. Number 12, senior guard Madeline Schrupfer, 5'5", from Rockwall, Texas. She's averaging 7.3 points per game and 5.8 rebounds per game. And in the middle, number 14, Abby Nehus, sophomore, 6'2", forward from Mustang, Oklahoma. She's averaging 9.3 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, and averaging over 3 blocks per game this season. Abby did suffer a minor concussion on Thursday night against Oklahoma Baptist late in the first half. She did not play in the second half, but has been cleared for action today, and that's a big relief for SNU, as it would have been it's tough sledding either way. Would have been even tougher without their best post player and defender in the middle. Alexis Jones, ironically enough, did miss last year's game against Southwestern here at the Sawyer Center, an 86-81 SNU win. She was also out with injury in that game, and so SNU pulling off the upset last year, and they'll look to do that again today as Franks and Nehus step into the center circle, and we're just about set to go here at the Sawyer Center. Nehus wins the tip, and SNU will get the first possession. Jones penetrating inside. SWOSU no issues switching there on the screen and roll from Schrupfer and Nehus. Schrupfer inside is blocked by Tucker. Pretty looked like she was standing out of bounds when she saved that, but she comes away with it and pushing tempo for the Bulldogs. Pretty tees up a deep three-pointer, in and out, no good. Irene Perez the rebound.
Found herself open there and took a very deep look. Fortunate for SNU, just off.
Adrian Berry, quick trigger for three, and she knocked it down.
Good bit of shooting right there, Luke, and I think that's going to be the key for SNU tonight. Can they come out with the same intensity that they came out with Thursday on the offensive end? They have the defensive abilities to slow down Southwestern, just a little bit, but gotta stay with them offensively. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
Pretty diving to the basket. She's going to be fouled by Schrupfer, and she gets the basket to go. First foul on Madeline Schrupfer. SNU got into a little bit of a scramble situation with a double on Bethany Franks, and Pretty with the cut. Trip May asking for why that is an and one situation and not a on the floor foul. It was pretty early, and I think even an NBA player would be grateful for the continuation call there. But either way, SNU tied at 3 here early on. They break the press. Schrupfer has it taken away by Hayden Pretty, and she's pushing tempo here. Finds the trailing Hedrick. Tucker finds Franks on the baseline and is blocked from behind by Schrupfer. Franks gets it back, sends it back out to Tucker. Around the corner, Hedrick in the corner for three. It's off the mark, no good, and Schrupfer has the rebound for SNU. Quickly the other way. They've got numbers. Schrupfer goes all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Nobody stopped Madeline Schrupfer on the drive, and she took advantage.
A good awareness there, slicing through the defense, coast to coast. Another deep three from Southwestern. SNU fortunate a couple times, but SWOSU willing to pull up and pull up from anywhere.
Foul's going to go on Taylor Hedrick. Schrupfer was pushing tempo the other way. Schrupfer comes up holding that right shoulder. She's had issues with that all season long, and Trip May, when asked about Schrupfer on multiple occasions, mentioned she's battling through quite a few things. Alexis Jones tracks down the loose ball. Irene Perez finds herself open at the top of the key. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound battled for, and Schrupfer comes away with it.
Perez thought about it again there. I like that confidence in the early stroke, not falling the first time though. Good self-discipline not to take the second easy open look.
Jones lost it, kicked out of bounds by Tucker. SNU will maintain possession here. 16 on the shot clock and a 5-3 lead. Barry in the corner, mismatch down low. Nihus and Hedrick, and SNU takes advantage as Nihus puts in the bucket over Taylor Hedrick. (7-3) early, SNU leads this one. Tucker spins on Perez. Great defense from Irene Perez. Schrupfer working as SWOSU continues to press. Alexis Jones finds Barry in the corner for three. Off the back iron, no good. Irene Perez, another offensive rebound for SNU. Schrupfer run off the line, drives down the lane, blocked out of bounds by Haley Tucker.
Yeah, both teams bringing the intensity early with the full court pressure. Southwestern even sticking with the pressure off of missed baskets. Not something you always see, but now an opportunity to see which team's going to be able to respond and better and run that transition, because there will be looks. It'll be a matter of whether you can take advantage of them, remain calm, and find those open cutters.
First foul on Tyra Aska there is she bumped Abby Nihus. Good look from Barry on the pick and roll there. Fresh shot clock for SNU. Maddie Spurley into the game for the first time. Barry off the glass and in on the inbounds pass. SNU taking the fight to SWOSU early. And it's a 9-3 lead, 3.5 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Pretty fires up a three-pointer. It's off everywhere, no good. Rebound is tipped around by Barry and Schrupfer, and Bethany Franks comes up with it and puts it in for two. Alexis Jones driving. And has it taken away by Bethany Franks on the tie-up, and that will go over to SWOSU. Second turnover of the game for SNU. Good defense there from Barry on Spurley. Pretty. Step through on Jones, gets it off the glass and in. A nice step through move from Hayden Pretty. He's averaging 16.9 points per game this season. Schrupfer quickly breaks the press. Splits the double team. Kick in the wing to Perez. She dribbles inside. Runner off the glass and in.
A great cut there by Perez. Found her open on the opposite side with a little skip there from Schrupfer, but she found herself backpedaling, Perez did, and a good thought there to step back, think about the three. Great drive there, though, with the opposite hand hook. She'll get those 2 points. SNU looking very confident and very enforcing their will right now early on offense.
Tucker asking to clear out here on Perez. She's backing her down. Abby Nihus with a great step through, and Abby Nihus ties her up, and that's a turnover for SWOSU. Great job by Abby Nihus to step up for the double team there.
That's a great response there by SNU, especially after the ISO asked for kind of wanting a one-on-one situation, and SNU shutting that down early, showing right now why we talk about their defense just so much.
SNU not really having any issues with the trap, and Perez's pass is picked off by Franks. Pretty coming the other way. Jumps into Alexis Jones. Good no call there, and Jones has the rebound. Jones quickly the other way. Lob up ahead to Barry. Looked like that might have been blocked by Tucker. It goes out of bounds off of Tucker on the offensive rebound attempt, and that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 4:36 to go, first quarter. SNU 11-7 lead over Southwestern. We'll take timeout and be right back after this.
When a customer is on the fence about buying a car, we should
give them a hug.
No. Oh, next.
Hannah? Full frontal?
No way. Guys, practice hugs are not necessary. You don't have to practice hugging.
How about we serenade them?
Well, I'd be happy to sing a song for you.
That's terrible.
Diffie, driven by family since 1954.
This is where I use the skills I've learned. This is where the moments I love happen. This is where I grew up, and it's also where I serve.
In the U.S. Army Reserve, you train at least 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. Here, you learn the skills to lead and succeed in life while staying close to home. Part-time service, full-time success. GoArmyReserve.com.
She's not a great shooter, though. She's just 38% from the field, 31% from three. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center. SNU leading this one 11-7 here in the early going. SNU inbounding under their basket with 24 seconds on the shot clock. And Russ has been a little bit of high tempo both ways so far. A lot of running.
Yeah, a lot of transition. Both teams pressing the issue on defense with the full court press and forcing the other team to press the issue on offense. Fun, quick transition game. We're watching lots of layups, lots of cuts to the bucket.
Perez, crossover on Tucker, gets inside, finds Jones on the baseline, puts it up. Looked like that was blocked by Tucker, and then Jones bumps into Aska on the offensive rebound. She can't believe the call, but looked like that was the correct one.
That's just SNU's second foul, but that's what we talk about at the top of the hour. Silly fouls a long way away from the bucket. That's maybe just a little frustration foul. You appreciate the hustle trying to keep with her shot, but that's a foul on SNU right now when they're trying to play some tough defense, and that's a difficult one.
First foul on Alexis Jones. Aska is blocked by Nehus. Kick in the corner. Hayden Pretty on the offensive rebound. She knocks it down.
That's something to watch. That's just the first three for SWOSU, but they've been willing to fire and willing to take those open looks. SNU been fortunate so far with some SWOSU misses, but that could get them rolling. A nice corner three.
Perez trapped. Ball is deflected, and that's going to be a double dribble on Irene Perez as she was trapped right at the half-court stripe. Another turnover for SNU. Pretty gets the screen. Now Spurley will drive on Barry. That's blocked out of bounds by Abby Nehus' hip. Not a smart decision there from Spurley. And Pretty will inbound on the baseline. Aska drives, reverse layup. Didn't think that hit anything as she gathers. Spurley with a three-point attempt is no good. Another jump ball is called as Nehus and Franks went to the floor for it, and SWOSU will maintain possession with a fresh shot clock. J.C. Soap into the game for the first time. Irene Perez will check out.
Into the contest for the first time today, number 2, J.C. Soap from Stillwell.
Franks drives on Nehus, puts it off the glass and in. Nice move from Bethany Franks, and that gives SWOSU their first lead of the game. At 12-11, 2-on-1, Schropfer and Nehus. Schropfer takes it all the way, rolls off the rim. Nehus lost the rebound, and Franks has it.
Right now on offense, Southwestern willing to take it right at Niehus, wanting to see what she really has down there in the post defense, especially Pretty going right after her so far with some mixed results.
Aska is off with the three-point attempt. Schrupfer, Pretty slapping at it. Behind the back dribble. Gets it over to J.C. Soap. She splits the double team. Ball is kicked by Bethany Franks out of bounds.
Almost a great little backdoor post entry pass there, but good awareness by the defender to kick that out of bounds. SNU trying to find the holes in this defense, and right now a couple of opportunities for SWOSU as SNU's dribble back into corners.
Entry pass comes to Soap, gets it right back to Alexis Jones. She puts it up with the left hand and in. And SNU retakes the lead. Back and forth we go. It's 13-12 SNU, and J.C. Soap, the freshman, with the tall task of guarding the senior Haley Tucker. Big test for Soap. Pretty missed the shot. Tries to rip the rebound away from Barry, and she's called for the foul.
That's exactly what you want right there if you're SNU. SWOSU willing to extend the pressure after missed shots, really hassling and hounding defensive rebounders. Those are the kind of calls you're going to want, and those are the kind of calls that are going to back SWOSU off that full court on the misses.
Wild pass from Schrupfer, and Jones is unable to save it in front of the scorer's table. SWOSU full court press. They're kind of basically setting up four right along this 10-foot line, the volleyball 10-foot line here, and SNU just getting too caught in trouble there, and it doesn't help that Schrupfer's trying to break it at 5-5. Niehus with a huge block on Hayden Pretty. Already the 8th shot attempt from Hayden Pretty. She is not afraid to take it to the basket. 22 on the shot clock as SWOSU inbounds on the baseline. Inbounds comes to Aska, and she'll turn and drive. Bounce over to Bethany Franks, and a foul coming up. That's going to be on Alexis Jones, and that's number 2 on her here in the first quarter. Inbound to Aska, and she's fouled by Schrupfer, and that's going to be number 2 on Madeline Schrupfer. So a little bit of issues here early for SNU with both Schrupfer and Alexis Jones picking up the personal foul.
Yeah, the defense has been there so far through the first quarter, but I think some of those offensive frustrations, especially at that half-court trap, now translating onto the defensive end. A couple of quick fouls for a couple of SNU's better scorers, and kind of a strange situation you find yourself in here as we're wrapping up the first quarter.
Aska missed the first, hits the second. We're tied at 13. Soap along the sidelines. Gets around Spurley, gets it down low to Niehus. She backs in on Franks. Is stripped by Franks, and Tucker has it. Good active hands from Bethany Franks. Hayden Pretty. Again, looking to drive. Barry knocks the pass out of bounds.
And all the way down the tunnel there.
19 on the shot clock here for SWOSU. Franks from the elbow, short. Perez has the rebound for SNU. Lob up ahead for Abby Niehus. She corrals it and puts it up and gets the roll. Thought that was going out of bounds there for a second, but a nice athletic play by Niehus.
Yeah, Niehus got up for that one, and that was a great play in primary transition, as right now SNU trying to dribble through this trap. When they find themselves in secondary transition, they found themselves with a lot of turnovers. So a great quick play there, and no opportunity for SWOSU to trap.
Ball deflects out of bounds off of Franks. Davila Strumatite into the game for the first time. Sonia Sarda also in for Madeline Schrupfer. SNU holding a 2-point lead here as we're under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Adrian Berry working it up against Haley Tucker, senior on senior there. These two know each other well. Sarda lost the dribble, and then knocked it out of bounds, trying to corral it. Another turnover for SNU. It's going to be their 7th turnover of the first quarter. They had just 5 the entire game on Thursday night, and yet you have to take the fact that you're still leading by 2 with 7 first quarter turnovers. Aska drive, kick, Spurley, wing 3 is short. Nehus and Strumatite go for the rebound. It's another tie-up. SNU with the possession arrow here. That's the 4th tie-up here in the first quarter. That gives you any indication of the intensity on the court right now. Sarda lob up ahead to Perez. Shot clock is off, so SNU will work for the last shot of the quarter. Perez quickly double-teamed. Sarda gets it. Now she's double-teamed. Throws it
on a very
off
lucky
of Spurley.
Very lucky situation there for SNU. Sarda able to bounce it off of Spurley's leg. They get a kick ball call. But SNU right now picking the ball up in very bad situations.
Sarda scoops it around to Nehus, who lays it in for 2. Pretty's three-quarter court heave goes off the top of the backboard, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. SNU, despite a tough sledding on the offensive end with 7 turnovers, leads this one 17-13 after 1. We'll take time out and be right back after this.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact, a conversation on campus one day with a visitor to our campus who asked that same question: what does character, culture, and Christ mean today? These days I like to talk about refining character. I think that we're all in process, and in those collegiate years, those years of a university experience, there's a great opportunity to refine character. And then creating culture. Certainly when we graduate students, they go out and they create culture in classrooms. They create culture in churches. They create culture anywhere they go. Last but certainly not least, in fact I would put it first, and that is serving Christ. I like the fact that it's last because it does undergird everything that we do. Our responsibility, I believe more than anything else, is to serve our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
17-13, SNU leads after 1 over number 13, Southwestern Oklahoma State. And Russ, a good job of forcing the action inside from SNU. They only attempted 3 three-pointers there in that first quarter, and all within the first 2 or 3 minutes. Did a nice job of pounding the paint inside and leave the rebounding battle 14-9 so far.
Yeah, I think they're taking what's there. You know, we saw a lot of transition basketball, so they're looking for layups. Right now, the defense doing a great job to hold this SWOSU offense in check. But the storyline for the second quarter, certainly, how is the offense going to respond to this press? Is right now they've really struggled getting the ball up the floor and picking it up in tough situations.
No issues there, as Pretty's free throw line jumper was off. J.C. Soap guarded by Haley Tucker here on this end. And the freshman being challenged on both ends of the court today. Perez pulls the trigger for 3, off the mark. J.C. Soap gets inside, knocks the rebound away from Aska.
Dribbled it between her legs before she even had the dribble.
Official thought about a foul call and decided against it. Be aggressive there.
Good
Perez
look.
gets inside, missed it. Barry tips it up, no. Nehus has it, off the glass, and in!
Still a freshman and a couple of turnovers so far in the first quarter, but Sarda, we've seen some excellent dribbling and some excellent facilitating from her. Excited to see what kind of future she might have running this offense.
Aska with the miss and then compounds the issue with the foul. Went into that one looking more for contact than to make the shot. That's going to be number 2 on Tyra Aska. SNU inbounding. Sarda working against the senior combo of Pretty and Tucker. Now Soap with it. Sarda up top will get it over to Perez. She's probing. J.C. Soap, no hesitation for 3.
Got
Splash! J.C. Soap continues her huge play of late, and SNU's lead is up to 9, 22-13.
Out of the break, that offense firing well, looking very good out of the break, and SWOSU in desperate need of some answers for this SNU offense.
Tucker shut off on the baseline by Nihus. Spurley drives, spins, Pretty. Aska's guarded by Sarda, and Sarda with a little forearm on the hip there, riding Aska down to the baseline.
Some
Pretty
of the
easy call there for the official. Abby Nehus checks out. Massey Beard into the game for the first time. Alexa Harvey in for the first time for SWOSU. Ball goes into the backcourt. Spurley will track it down there and bring it back up against Barry.
A lot of times when Nehus checks out, we talk about how Beard will handle the matchup that Nehus is leaving behind. I think this afternoon, though, a little bit less about the matchup and more about the help defense that Nehus provides. This SNU defense, they don't get cut around a lot, but when they do, Nehus there with the help.
Barry got doubled and has the ball taken away by Strumatai. That jumper from Spurley snapped a 9-0 SNU run, and Spurley travels on the pivot. Bethany Franks will return to the game for SWOSU, coming in for Strumatai. SWOSU does not play a lot of players. Just 9 averaging 11 or more minutes. Sarda is trapped, gets it across the timeline to Soap, and now it's a 2-on-1. Freshman to freshman, Massey Beard up and in.
What a great look there. Good pass from Soap. Great finish by Massey Beard. 24-15.
Good composure from Soap as Franks went to the floor. Harvey open for 3. Behind the screen is off the mark. Perez crashing hard. And here come the Crimson Storm. Back the other way. Barry for 3. Off the mark. Massey Beard, another offensive rebound. It's off the mark. And the foul is going to be here on Maddie Spurley. SWOSU crowd on the far side does not agree with the call.
Head coach Kelsey Musick couldn't believe that call. She got quite the look of disapproval, and now she's going to give her best earful to the ref on that call.
Taylor Hedrick back into the game. Julia Schwacke into the game for the first time for SNU. Soap driving baseline. And she's doubled up and travels. Into the game for the first time for SWOSU. Tabor Beer in for the first time. So it's Hedrick, Beer, Harvey, Pretty, and Tucker on the court for SWOSU. Sarda, Soap, Perez, Schwacke, and Beard for SNU. Pretty drives in. She's fouled.
Oh, that SNU bench wanted the charge. Massey Beard trying to step up and take it. She will not get the call. Maybe not quite set all the way.
The SNU bench was screaming for that charge call, and I believe one of the officials is coming over to tell Trent May to have the bench to calm down. We'll see if he says anything to them.
I think he gave him a real brief, yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
And Pretty misses the first one. Yeah, if I was Coach May there, I probably would have said, keep doing what you're doing. Second free throw is good for Pretty. Perez working to get it in, gets it in to Sarda. She's doubled on the baseline. And then SNU bailed out as Sarda tried to get it over to Schwacke, and the foul going on Taylor Hedrick. That's going to be her second personal foul.
Yeah, right now SNU trying to dribble out of the press, and that's not going to be the answer, and often passing out of trap into a worse trap.
Bad pass, but it gets over to Beard. Beard with a nice box out to shield off the defender, and she hits Schwacke for the layup.
Maybe a little bit of a hip check seal there, but no call, and a great play from Beard. Turns into 2 for SNU.
Tucker driving on Beard. She's shut off by Sarda. Pivots. Missed the shot. Tipped out of bounds by Julia Schwacke. SWOSU will maintain possession. 5:57 to go for second quarter. SNU leading 26-16. SWOSU shooting 24%. They're 1 of 9 from three-point range. Pretty for 3, well off the mark. Hedrick gets the rebound and puts it up and in. Split 2 SNU defenders there to get that offensive board. JC Soap now. Sarda up ahead with it. Now Schwacke on the wing. If SNU can pass out of the press, the opportunity for fast break points is there as SWOSU is committing wholesale to that. Sarda with the floater in the lane.
Just a great veteran little crossover and then runner from Sarda. What a great move for 2.
Tucker, three-pointer straight away. She knocked it down. A deep 25-footer for the senior. SNU still up by 7, 28-21. There are 4 SWOSU players in the backcourt. Plenty of opportunities. Soap with a nice bounce pass to Beard, and that is swatted out of bounds by Tucker emphatically. Maddie Spurley will return for the Bulldogs. Taylor Hedrick will take a seat. SNU doing a lot of good things with a different lineup on the court. One we have not seen this season. Abby Nehus will return for Massey Beard. Good minutes for Beard. Nehus inside has it ripped away from her by Beer. Then Beer is fouled by Sarda. Not a good foul there from Sonia Sarda. That's going to be number 2 for her. Going to be the 3rd team foul of the quarter. And that will take us to a timeout on the court. 4:56 to go, first half. SNU leading 28-21. We'll take a break and be right back after this. This is SNU basketball. SNU leading this one 28-21, 4:55 to play first half. 9 players have played for the Crimson Storm. All 9 have scored, including Massey Beard, Sonia Sarda, Julia Schwacke. Everybody's contributing for SNU so far in this one. And when you're playing a team as good as the Bulldogs, it's important to get everybody to contribute. Pretty crossover on Perez, backdoor feed for Harvey's, cut off by Schwacke. Tucker will try another deep 3, and she got another one.
My goodness, not a whole lot you can do about that. Excellent range on display by Tucker.
Sarda knocked away by Beer. She's trapped. Tries to throw over the head. It's picked off by Spurley. Pretty drives baseline. Spurley spins into Sarda. Great defense from Sarda to shut off the paint. Pretty steps around her, and she traveled.
Excellent shooting has drawn this lead a little bit closer, but right now SNU still struggling to get out of this press. Some ugly passing and some attempts to dribble out of it have not worked in their favor. A timeout there from Trent May as he didn't like what was going on in that press break.
This is the most extended run we've seen from Sonia Sarda in quite some time. 7 minutes here in the first half, and again, this press is starting to get to SNU a little bit. They're up to 11 turnovers here in the first half, and yet still maintain a 4-point lead. So if SNU can just figure out a way to consistently break the press, the opportunities are there to get easy buckets on the other end. It's just a matter of setting yourselves up to, the ball does travel faster in the air than on the ground.
Well, and right now this defense for SNU doing an excellent job. The 2 threes right now that have kind of closed the gap. Not even something I want to put on the defense, just an excellent show of shooting from very deep range. And so realistically, we're coming up on 5 minutes, 4 minutes to halftime, and this SNU defense giving up 17, 18 points.
Quick pass up ahead. Perez has it. Drives in on Pretty and took one too many steps going to the basket. A turnover for SNU, gives it back to SWOSU. It's a good job breaking the press there as SNU had to get it across in just 2 seconds. Beer working on Soap. Cut off and doubled. Now Spurley. Harvey for 3. Yes.
And this is what SNU didn't want. That shooting starting to come alive right now for SWOSU. Decent closeout, decent positioning, but not a whole lot you can do when ladies are hitting the 3 ball from 2-3 feet beyond the arc.
Sarda now pokes it away, and Schwacke takes it away from Tucker. 1-on-1. Schwacke pivots in the paint, looking for help. Hook shot over Tucker is good. Great composure in the paint from Julia Schwacke.
Oh, with Tucker staring her down. That's a big, long opponent that you're driving on, and an excellent hook play from Julia Schwacke.
Nehus turns away. Spurley shot. Perez back the other way with it. Gets it to Soap. Saved it in bounds, but couldn't get around Tucker without going out of bounds to maintain possession, and that's going to be a turnover for SNU. Adrian Berry and Casey Glover into the game. Glover, her first action since last week. She did not play on Thursday night against OBU. Again, Alexis Jones and Madeline Schrupfer on the bench with 2 fouls. And it's been, again, impressive for SNU. They've managed to maintain this lead, which is now gone thanks to another 3 from Alexa Harvey. But SNU keeping their head above water with both Jones and Schrupfer off the court with 2 fouls. Soap. Baseline jumper, Nehus is long, but gets the friendly roll back off the backboard and in.
Good composure there from Glover. Not a lot of game time, especially not recently, but very composed, very collected, breaking that press.
Tabor Beer, aggressive drive right through JC Soap. Gets the layup to fall. Glover to Soap, quickly up ahead to Berry. She breaks the press. Now Schwacke with it. SNU looking to. Soap took a step before putting the ball on the ground there. Another turnover for SNU. That's now 14 turnovers in the first half for the Crimson Storm, but it's still tied at 32. Beer, free throw line jumper, that's good, and SWOSU retakes the lead for the first time since late in the first quarter.
Yeah, shots are starting to fall right now for SWOSU. The turnover rate way too high for SNU, and now they're starting to get burned as SWOSU hitting shots.
Schwacke, high arcing jumper, no, follows her own miss, off the glass and in! Julia Schwacke with 6 huge points off the bench. Soap missed the steal. Hustling back. And then Beer throws it out of bounds. Savannah Gray into the game for the first time. She comes in for Maddie Spurley for SWOSU, and SNU will inbound on the sideline closest to us here. 1:24 to go first half. We're tied at 34 in what's been an entertaining game between the top 2 teams in the Great American Conference. Glover finds Soap. Quick touch pass to Berry, and she'll settle it back out. And SNU will run some clock here. Soap looking for entry pass to Nehus. Left-hand shot's no good. Battling for the rebound, and it's Gray that comes up with it. We're under a minute to go first half. Tucker looked off the pass to the corner. Puts up the shot again, no good. SWOSU screaming for a foul. They will get none. Glover, great pass up ahead to Schwacke. Schwacke, Barry, and she traveled.
Oh. Another travel call for SNU as that turnover number continues to climb. Just getting a little excited trying to break the press. A lot of first steps before that ball's down on the court.
You got to give SNU credit. They are trying to be aggressive. Pretty gets inside, straight up from Nehus, and that's rejected out of bounds. Great defense from Abby Nehus going straight up. That's her 5th block of the first half. Beer fires it in deep to Tucker. Julia Schwacke now tasked with guarding the senior. She crosses over, gets inside, goes to the basket, gets it to go, and she's fouled.
Yeah, this SNU defense starting to look a little bit tired. They've been holding tough inside. Now they're stretched a little wide with some of the increased shooting. Lots of running. They need this break at the half right now.
Tucker completes the three-point play. She's an 86% free throw shooter on 134 attempts this season. Glover, Barry, now Soap up ahead to Schwacke. Schwacke drives it, tried to loop a pass around to Nehus. Too hard and too much from Julia Schwacke there. 6.5 seconds to go. SWOSU will have the final shot. SNU would do well to not foul here as SWOSU is in the bonus. Beer quickly the other way. Fade away three-pointer. It is short, and SNU corrals the rebound at the buzzer. And we'll go to halftime. Great first half of action here at the Sawyer Center. SNU trailing 37-34 to Southwestern. When we come back, we'll have first half stats and analysis from the first 20 minutes and get you ready for the second half right after this.